Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me today. My name is Lauren, if you didn't know, and we are talking about my GOAT makeup products of all time. This is basically what is on my face 9 times out of 10 every time I record a video. It doesn't change much. The only thing that may change is probably bronzer and highlighter, but for the most part, it's pretty stagnant. So I just figured I'd film a video, show you what my favorite products of all times are, what I'm always constantly using as my base, and just get that out the way. So if you ever wondered what was on my face, I'll just probably reference you to this video each and every time. I think that's it. That's all I really have to say. So let's just get straight into the video. I got no sense. Okay, my GOAT makeup products of all time. So I already started. I put my primer on my face already. This is the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas Primer. I bought this when it originally came out in the bomb in the jar, but I feel like this should have always existed. Personally, I'm of the faith that primers don't do shit. I kind of still believe that. I mean, if I use a primer for anything, it's just because I want my base to be smoother. That's about it. But I do like the fact they make a claim with this primer specifically that it creates a barrier between your skincare and your makeup, so it protects kind of like your skincare. I don't know, there's no way for me to scientifically prove that's happening, but I've bought this 3 times already. I bought it twice in the bomb it originally came out in, and now I have it in the liquid, and I probably will never go back to the bomb because I hate it, like scraping product out of a jar. 2 pumps of this covers my whole face. It's already on my face, so I just thought I would do that part before I started because it's quite boring. And I like to let it sit for like a minute before I start my makeup. So the next product up is foundation. And before this, I used to not wear foundation. I used to just put concealer on my face and call it a day because I used to hate the foundation stuff. I felt like the second I put on foundation, it was always heavy. And because of that, I hated wearing foundations. This is very light and liquidy though. It feels like nothing's on here. And it really gives me my skin but better vibes. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. And I'm in the shade Medium Deep 23. This works all year round. I haven't had a need to have a summer or winter shade. I just take like 2 pumps on the back of my hand. And then just like dab it on my face where I need coverage. So under my eyes, my cheeks where most of my discoloration is, and dark marks from acne past are on my chin, and my forehead usually gets the least amount because honestly I don't really need to put anything really up there. But that's it. I'll put some more on this side because I put a lot on the other side. But that's it. And I know what you're thinking, Lauren, that looks orange. It does, but I promise you it'll look fine once I blend it out. And I usually use a sponge to do my makeup. If I'm traveling, I will use a brush, like a dense brush, because they're easy to clean while traveling. But since I'm home, I use a sponge and just blend that in. So as you can see, this is what it looks like blended out. It's pretty. I usually skip my nose, like especially the bottom part here, just because I have bad year-round allergies, so it's just no warning when it's gonna pop off, what's gonna happen or anything. So like I just kind of avoid the nose. There's not gonna be makeup there at the end of the day anyway, so skip it. Why waste products? But that's what this looks like, and as you can see, it literally looks like a healthy veil of coverage, and it looks kind of like my skin. Like if I was not to follow up with any like concealer or anything, you would be kind of hard pressed to tell where my skin ends and where the foundation begins. Like if I was to just set this and go about my day, this looks fine. And like I said, it's a good match year round. Like I haven't had a need to, but I haven't been outside, so there's that. But I haven't had a need for like getting a lighter, darker shade. Concealer. Now for concealers, we have 2. And I use them for different purposes. So, and it could be either or. Like I love both of them. I like the Pat McGrath, what is this called? Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer, and this is in the shade Medium Deep 23. She made her system where if you buy the foundation in the shade, you should buy your concealer in the shade, and it's just like a hair lighter. But honestly, this is skin tone shade, so I use this to cover up anything that my foundation didn't cover up. She made the concealer super thick, full coverage, the complete opposite of the foundation. I usually use this to cover up any places on my face that have extra discoloration going on. Like I can see my dark bugs peeking through here, the whole mouth area basically, because I do have darkness around my mouth. And then I go on this side of the face and just cover up any dark marks left here. Cover up my bags. And anything else I want to like get rid of that's like bothering me. And this foundation, since it is so thick, like you don't have to worry too much about, about waiting to blend it out, because like it dries down kind of like cement. So you can actually blend this out immediately after applying it. And I usually do my eyes last because I want the most coverage there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on my cheeks and blend this out. And I just like this. I like this combo. This combination is good. Like she killed the complexion, the base products, I feel like, with her line. Personally, I know there was a lot of mixed opinions about this released, but honestly I liked it. So that, and then I'm gonna take the pointy side of my sponge and blend out my under eye. And if you notice, I don't do those like large triangles under my eyes. That's so unnecessary. It's so excessive and it's kind of a waste of product. Any excess I do tap onto the lid, which isn't much. The next concealer on the list is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Caramel. I do have this in a skin tone shade. The skin tone shade I use is Amande. I like it both in this format and the little pot it comes in, either or. When I don't wear foundation, I usually reach for the pot of this concealer and put it on my face and spot conceal and go about my day. But this is Caramel, so it's a lot lighter, and I use this to highlight. I did not buy the Pat McGrath concealer in a highlight shade, so I just tend to use it. This is very lightweight and liquidy. Kind of reminds me of the Pat McGrath foundation, where like it's complete opposite of the concealer I just used, in that, like I said, it's light and liquidy. And because of that, you kind of have to let it sit for a while before you blend it out. If you try to blend this out immediately, like, you just wasted product completely. So and then I do my forehead. I have quite a small forehead, so I don't mind making it look a little bigger. And then I usually do my chin. Sometimes I do my nose, sometimes I don't. Depends on my mood. I don't really contour or carve out my nose anymore. I just kind of let it be what it is. But while that sits, I usually do my eyebrows. So for eyebrows, I use two products. I use the MAC Eyebrow Styler in the color Spiked, which is way too dark. It's been dark, but I've been using this since high school, so I'm just used to using it. I would probably do better off if I got a lighter color, but I'm just used to using this color Spiked. I was using it before it had the brush on the end. This is new, and I quite like that it comes with the brush, so you don't have to have another brush with you to style or comb out your eyebrows. And I prefer this brush over the traditional eyebrow brushes that come with things, because they're usually a lot thicker, and I prefer this smaller brush. So I use the eyebrow crayon in Spiked. And then to hold my brows, I hate most brow waxes and brow gels too, just because of the fact that I feel like they make your brows so stiff, hard, and crunchy. I do not like my hair to feel stiff, hard, and crunchy. I like my hair to feel like hair still. So because of that, I used to use soap brows. But so instead of walking around with the spoolie, some water, and soap, I now switched to this. This is the Surratt Expressioniste Brow Pomade, and it's really liquidy, and it has a brush on it. I like the brush on this too, and I literally just comb this through my brows when I'm done, and it literally puts them down and it gives enough hold, but my brows still look realistic. Now, the type of brows I like aren't the most popular format of brows. I think they call them boy brows, or those messy like model brows. I like my brows to look realistic. I'm not a big fan of the Instagram eyebrows. Not knocking it, it's just not. I just don't care for my brows to be that perfectly symmetrical, and I feel like it's very time consuming to do every time you want to do your eyebrows. And I feel like they look super harsh too. So I usually just fill in the areas where it sparse. I'll reshape them. accordingly, and that's it. Like, I don't do anything super fancy with my brows, but this is going to require me to like focus for a bit. So I'm going to hop off, and when I come back, my eyebrows will be done, because I get real low and close to the mirror when I do my eyebrows. So I'm going to do my eyebrows really quickly, and then I will come right back. So that's it. They're not perfect. They're more like cousins, not even sisters, but it's fine. I don't really care. Like I said, I like my eyebrows to look natural and not perfect. So that's that part. I had something else I wanted to say, but I honestly can't remember what it was about my eyebrows. Oh, I don't get my eyebrows done in real life anymore. So like in person, they're super looking bushy and messy. Like there's hairs that could be plucked that I'm just not doing. So that's probably why I probably prefer this brow style over like a super perfect Instagram type eyebrow. So that's it. This has been sitting long enough, and again I'm gonna do my eyes last because I want the most coverage there. Setting powder. So I have 2 in this category as well. I know that was like 4 fingers. I have 2 in this category as well. So the first one, and the one I'm probably going to use today, is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. Now I know this says under eye powder, but honestly I use this all over my face. It makes your under eyes like silk. Like wherever you set, this powder makes your face like silk. Like it's just so soft, so smooth, so perfect. I don't know what is in here, but I need like a giant size of this, like for the whole face. I know she does have like a loose setting powder for face. I don't care for it too much. I feel like it feels a little cakey once I put it on. Even when I don't bake, so like this, we're talking about light dusting here. So I just need this in like a bigger size. I use this to the death. Now the other one is the Mercier translucent powder in the shade Honey. This is fairly new. I got this last November, when the last VIB sale was, and I bought a mini because I have so much powder. Like I honestly shouldn't have bought this, but I bought it. Now the original one, when it was only one color, I could use, but it would make my under eyes so bright, even dusting it. Like I got in the habit of using a concealer shade that was my skin tone under my eyes because the powder was gonna brighten it up. I know it says translucent, but it does have, like, it will change the color of your makeup underneath. This does not, thank God, but this will. Then they came out with Deep, and I could use Deep on the perimeter of my face, but I ended up mixing like the light and Deep together for a while to get like a perfect under eye shade in the Mercier. But now I don't have to because they came out with the shade Honey, which is bomb. And I will lightly dust this all over my face, including under my eyes. But I'm not going to use this today. I'm going to use the one that makes your... And they both work great. Like I love this powder because it makes your face so perfect. Like what pores, what imperfect, it just blurs everything so nicely. And this makes your skin feel like so, and it's so lightweight. It's a quite dusty powder. So I'm gonna grab my favorite brush for under eyes, just slightly bake. So this is really translucent. As you can see, it's a mess because I used the crap out of it, but it does not change the color of your makeup too much, if at all. But I find that the Mercier does, so use at your own, risk. And I literally, like I said, I will use this all over my face. So anywhere where I would get creasing, I kind of go a little bit more ham on the rest of my face. My under eyes, I don't use too much powder. But I never really was into baking either. I could use a bigger brush, but like I honestly don't feel like reaching one because it would go a lot faster if I picked up a bigger brush, but... And that is where we're at. And I literally just use this all over my face. And now my face is set. I really need this for like the whole face. Fuck just the under eyes. Like this, like my skin looks like really silky, really smooth. Just perfect. And that's that. Okay, my favorite bronzer of all time is, I think the first time I was introduced to this bronzer, I was getting my makeup done. Somebody did my makeup for me. This is the Becca Sunlit bronzer in Ipanema Sun. If I open it, this is what it looks like. And it just gives like the perfect, like it's just so perfect. Like that's all I can say. And I have like a lot of bronzers. I love all my bronzers, but this is like my favorite of all time. So I'm gonna grab my bronzer brush and throw this on. But I'm shocked I'm on this I think for a couple years now, but honestly I haven't hit pan on it just because of the simple fact that I have so many bronzers. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things. I feel like my face is not complete without bronzer. And I use this brush. This is a pretty small brush. I know a lot of people like using very big brushes. I'm trying to think of if I have one in front of me to apply bronzer. I'm not one of those people. I have a small face, small head, so using a big brush, it will go everywhere. So I tend to use a smaller brush for this. So, and I usually start back here because it is smaller. It does carry a lot more product, and I have the tendency, or the bad habit shall I say, to not tap off my brush. So if I start back here and bring it forward instead of starting up here and bringing it back, I can kind of control a little bit better how much I place, because it's easier to hide shit back here than it is like up here on your face. So just my pro tip, if you feel like you're heavy handed, or like you have, like I said, the bad habit of not tapping off your brush like I do, then start back here and bring it down versus starting up here and bringing it up. That's just the way I do it. So I start back here and then I go on my forehead and then like I bring it back down, and that's what that looks like. And it's just the perfect amount of like warmth. Like I love this bronzer. Like this bronzer is truly the goat. Now I have the tendency, because for the longest time I used to not wear blush because I couldn't find, like, it just seemed like a pointless step. I always wanted those orange like peachy type blushes. They don't really make those for dark skin, or back in the day they didn't really make those for dark skin. And because of that, like, I just had the tendency to drag my bronzer onto my cheeks. I still kind of do that to this day, but I found like a couple blushes that I do love, and I am going to use one today. But because of that, I have the tendency to drag bronzer where I would place blush too. In case you were wondering, like, that looks like it's on your, it is. It is. Because I would normally put blush right here over top of it, so. And I'm bronzed. I could literally stop right here and we could be done. And I could go about my day. Spray my face and go about my day. Put on some mascara. Be done. But I'm showing all my favorites today, so I could really just blend. And so it's something so therapeutic about just like blending. I feel like I can't be alone in that thought process. So this is my favorite highlighter of all time. It is limited edition though. So, but I feel comfortable mentioning it because they recently released it in cherry packaging. I'll put it up on the screen. And it's on sale too, I think, right now. So if you can find it, I highly recommend you get it. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega Glaze All Over Foil Luminizer in the shade 79 Gilty. As you can see, mine is in this gold packaging. If you was to buy it today, it would be in the cherry packaging. But this is what it looks like. It's a peachy gold. I absolutely love this highlighter. I have an everyday makeup station where I have a section that I rotate products out of my main collection. And so I can use products in my collection. This hasn't left that station. I think it left the station for a week one time. And I literally went back up there. I adore this freaking highlighter. And like I said, it's a peachy gold, so I'm gonna put this on today. Now, because this is limited edition, and even in the cherry packaging, like, it's not permanent, I will recommend another highlighter really quickly, just because it's my second runner-up as far as favorites go, and I get a lot of compliments on it every time I use it too. I know they still sell it. Like, I noticed it re-releases like around every springtime. So I'll give another one, but like end of spring, early summer, like they re-release it. But I think you can only get this now at Ulta or off the ABH site itself. So like they don't sell it at Sephora, I don't think, anymore. This is the ABH Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. I love this one. I think it's only one shade in here I haven't used, which is this one, Tourmaline. It's such a weird grayish kind of bronzy color, and I have no use for it. But I've used all the three other ones in this palette quite a bit. My favorite being Moonstoned. But all of these are gorgeous. Like, you put them on high impact shine. Like I said, I noticed they re-released these at the end of each spring, early summer. But this is in the shade Sun Dipped, and it has the colors Bronze, Summer, Tourmaline, and Moonstone in it. And that's what that looks like, and it's perfect for deep complexions. So that's my runner-up recommendation. And like I said, every time I wear this palette, I get a lot of compliments. So that's that. Blush. Now I put on my blush after my highlight because just in case I went too ham on the highlight, something to kind of tone it down. I'm trying to find a blush to do blush with. I guess I could use this. It's the only clean brush I've used today. This is the Surratt blush in the shade Cantaloup. It's in this palette, but it is this shade here, this one up top. It's a nice peachy neutral blush. Like, it's not overwhelming. Anytime like I want a neutral nudish type look, I grab for this. Like, it's not going to do too much where it'll be overpowering anything on my face. And then I just put it on my cheeks. I'm not sure if my camera is picking it up, but it does add like a nice warm orangey color to my face. A peachy color. Not orange, peachy. It's more peachy. But that's that. And you notice I like swoop it up. I kind of do like this circular motion with my cheek shape. So it goes over my highlighter a little bit. And I like to do that because if I go ham on my highlighter, then like this will kind of tone it down. That's that. It's literally just like a perfect neutral color blush. If I wanted something more intense, my second runner-up or honorable mention for that would be the NARS blush in the shade Torrid. But that has shimmer in it, so if you don't like shimmer, I wouldn't recommend it. It's like a perfect neutral peachy blush on my complexion. I'm shocked that color even shows up on my skin, but it does. I'm not doing eye makeup. I do not have a favorite eyeshadow palette, unfortunately. Asking me to pick a favorite eyeshadow palette is kind of like asking me to pick my favorite child. It's wrong and you shouldn't do it. Even though people still have their favorite child. But I digress. Either you in or out, son. In or out. But no, I do not have it, so I will not be doing, no, it's just not happening. But if I had to pick my favorite brand as far as eyeshadow palettes is concerned, it's Pat McGrath. I'm just going to keep it a bean with you right there. Love her palettes, so if you can get your hands on a Pat McGrath palette, I highly recommend them. Whichever one is appealing to you, they are all phenomenal. So, eye base. So I'm not using eyeshadow today, like I just said, but I've been loving this Master Eye Prepping Set by Makeup by Mario, and this is in the shade Deep. Honestly, they could have used another shade after this, because this is as deep as it goes. That's bizarre. This shade right here is like my skin tone. This shade is like slightly lighter, so if I want if I'm wearing eyeshadow and I want it to pop, I would reach for this. If I want to just like mute out the discoloration on my eyes, I would just use this shade, and I'm not putting on any eye makeup. And then the powder here, I do like to set my eyes. I'm very happy that this came with the powder because I do have hooded lids, so I do like that this came. And the powder is very translucent, so it doesn't show up. But like I said, they could acknowledge a little deeper than this. Like there could be another one after this. I'm just saying. Setting spray. I have two in this category as well. I think everybody is familiar with MAC Fix Plus, but I've been really loving the MAC Fix Plus in Gold Light. I actually like the little shimmer that it leaves on my face. It leaves my face looking dewy, glowy. I have dry skin, so I prefer my skin to look dewy and glowy. And it's kind of the reason why I don't bake or use a lot of powder or too much powder. Then we have this. This is truly my baby. It's about to be out too. This is expensive. This is the Air Flash Radiance Mist by Dior. This is 001 Universal. When I first bought this, they only had this color. And it does have color. I don't know if you can see that, but like there's like tan on the where the product sprays out. And it sprays out like an aerosol. I think 70s hairspray. It sprays out like that. And because it sprays out like that, and instead of being wet like this, you don't actually have to dry your face after you spray it. Like it literally sets and cements your makeup. Like when I spray this on my face, I don't have to worry about my makeup going nowhere. I don't have to worry about it smudging on anybody's clothes. I don't have to worry about any of that. Like it literally, this shit sets makeup down like no other. They do have another shade now, and it's for deep. I have never tried that one. So if this 001 universal shade doesn't work for you, just go deep. But this is heavenly. The only thing I don't like about this is the fragrance. Dior kills me when they put the fragrance in everything. I digress. But this is great. Like, and it sets you down and it makes your face look, remember how I said the Pat McGrath makes you look like silk? Like this just makes you look porcelain. This makes you look like a china. And it, like I said, it sets my makeup like nothing I've ever experienced before. And I've tried the All Nighter Setting Spray by Urban Decay. So I like this more. It's more expensive, but like this shit is the bomb. So I'm gonna spray my face with this and then we'll do mascara, lashes, and I'm done. Like I said, I love this. I love that it's dry. It makes my skin just look flawless at the end, and it cements makeup like I've never experienced. So I really love that Dior Air Flash. That's one thing about the Dior Air Flash. If you do go overboard on the makeup, since it does have pigment in it, you can definitely tone it down. Like if you went overboard on your makeup, it is great for toning anything down. Next up, mascara. So I have two mascaras and I use them for different purposes. My favorite mascara of all time is the Monsieur Big by Lancome. If you're like, Lauren, this looks small, it's because it is. I think I got this in like points or something at one point as a gift set. I'm trying to think. I use this only for my top lashes, so. And I just love how like, I'm blessed in the fact that I at least have eyelashes, like, so it literally just enhances what's already there, and I really like that. And I only use this on the top, like I said. I could use it on the bottom, but I only, like, look at that difference. Like, that's all it took. Did not take much. Oops, got some on the inside of my eyes. It wouldn't be me if I didn't like make a mistake though. So that's one eye. And then the other eye. And that's my eyelashes. And I only use one coat. I do not like applying more than one coat to my eyelashes for some weird reason. I just don't. I feel like the more I add, the worse it gets. So I like that this gives me like length and volume, and then like, you know, it makes it look like I have great eyelashes naturally. And I don't like mascaras that like get super clumpy either. Now for the bottom, I use the MAC Extended Play in Gigabyte, and this is in black. It says B10 on it, but I know it's black. I would just use black. I don't use brown mascara, so can you see? Yeah, you can see me now. And I like using this lash specifically for my bottom lashes because you see how thin this wand is? It's perfect. Versus the, let me pull it back out, versus the Monsieur Big wand, which you can see is quite thick. It's just perfect for the lower lash line. So if you were one of those people that struggle. Also, I only put like it on like 3/4 of the way. I never bring it all the way in. I just never do that. So I don't know. That's just the way I like. I like most of the volume to be on the outside of my eyes. And that's it. These are my G.O.A.T makeup products. I am gonna put on lashes today, so I'll do that in a second. I'm gonna let this dry a little before I do that. But that's it. That's my G.O.A.T makeup products. And that's it. As you can see, I added lashes and oh, lip product. I have to mention what I put on my lips on an everyday basis. I genuinely 9 times out of 10 will just put this on my lips and call it a day. Or the Laneige lip sleeping mask. I know you're supposed to use this at night, but I use it during the day as well. So it could be either or. Yeah. And I put on lashes. I don't really have a favorite lash. I wear, some days I wear them, some days I don't. Lately I've been wearing Dr. Lashes strip lashes. Sometimes I use individuals like and put them in, but most days it's just mascara and that's it. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I forgot to use one product. So when I contour, if I'm in the mood to do that extra step, I will use the Fenty Matchstick in Espresso. That's my favorite contour product of all time. If I care to take the extra, you know, step to sculpt out my face a little bit more and define it more. But lately, I don't know. I feel like the older you get, less products you care to be using. Am I alone in that? I did put some of this highlighter on my inner corner as well. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I did put that on the inner corner as well. And this is just generally my base. So sometimes it's more or less. Sometimes I don't wear blush. Sometimes I don't wear highlighter. I will never not wear bronzer. You can bet your ass I'm gonna wear bronzer. It's like my favorite makeup step. It's the only one I really care about. But everything else stays pretty stagnant. And this is my everyday kind of like beat. It's simple, it's calm, it's nothing fancy, nothing crazy. If you were ever wondering what was on my base, what I go to, this does not change. This stays stagnant. I don't know. I feel like I'm at an age, I don't care to experiment no more. I just don't. So sorry. If you were looking for like foundation reviews and concealers and stuff like that, like it's just not happening here. But I will try a new bronzer or highlighter for sure. But like the base, the mascara, the eyebrows is pretty stagnant at this point. And I think that's all I have to say. Thanks for joining me today. Subscribe, all that good shit, and stay safe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.
But it's pussy by me. Anti-social, this pussy on me. Don't go broke, this pussy.